up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser-measured floor liners, no-drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance Brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
Said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out, Miller, look out.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads watching out there. We're glad you could tune in and enjoy some racing on your day as we get ready to go lights out with the Formula Regional Americas here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the Grand Prix circuit. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Vaughn Beasley as we get ready to go. And Vaughn, rain yesterday washed out what should have been race 1, but we do have 2 races for Formula Regional Americas today.
Yep, we do. It was kind of a bummer yesterday the race got rained out, but we have a perfect Sunday morning to go racing here today.
Here's a look at our starting lineup. Brady Golan on the pole. Jett Bowling will start alongside. Nicolas Ambiato on the inside of row 2 with Titus Sherlock. Then it's Bruno Ribeiro inside of row 3 with Nicolas Stati to the outside of him. Bijoy Garg making an appearance with the series this year. In 7th, Alex Benavitz. In 8th, Connor Roberts and Barrett Wolfe round out the top 10. James Lawley, Hayden Bowlesby, Kevin Janzen, and Anthony Otello. So a handful of guys yesterday had been hoping for dry conditions so that they had a fresh set of tires ready to go. They're going to be able to take advantage of that now here in this first race of the weekend.
Yep, exactly. It'll be really interesting to see how these drivers take to this track this morning. From my understanding, the last time they were really on track was qualifying on Friday. So the track conditions are going to be much different than they were on Friday as they're lining up for grid now.
Here's Brady Golan in the 80 rolling into his spot. Jett Bowling alongside, getting ready to go. This is a standing start. Formula Regional Americas. Third racing weekend of the year for these competitors. Started the year at NOLA Motorsports Park, then on to Road America, and now here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Everybody in position, revs are coming up. Watch for the lights to go out, and we're racing at Indy. We're underway.
Watch Brady go to the wall here to defend.
Boy, Ambiato right into the middle in the 55, making a run to be first to turn 1. Golan trying to hang on the inside, and here comes Bowling around the outside to take the lead away from his second place starting position. And then a good fight now for third. Boy, that couldn't have gone any better for Jett Bowling.
Now with all this previous experience at IMS, let's see if he can keep it out front. The draft here is going to be a huge factor, so that's going to really influence the strategies for these drivers today.
2 spots, you'll see that in action right here on the Holman straightaway, and of course down the very long and famous front stretch.
Huge lockups.
Everybody getting a little deep. Brady Golan is off. Now it's going to be awfully wet over there, Vaughn, trying to get that car back on.
Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. We'll see where he ends up as he comes back on track.
Working their way through the infield, headed back towards the big portion of the racetrack, up onto the banking here, and then back into the infield. That's the short chute of the big oval.
See Jett's lead out of turn 14, how big of a gap he has to the rest of the field.
This is the other spot on the racetrack where we'll see that draft come into play. A good fight here for second now between Sherlock and the 31 and Ambiato, the pair of orange cars running second and third. Ambiato in the 55. Bruno Ribeiro right behind him, and then Stati. Oh, problems here. Was that Sherlock?
It was, yeah. I don't know what happened there. Almost like it popped out of gear, but that seems like a weird issue for these FR cars.
Second lap and a second big change in the top 3 here. Yeah, he is
lost drive.
Slow for sure in the 31.
Oh, that's huge for the championship too.
Titus Sherlock and that Rain Nutrition, Ronald McDonald House Charities backed entry. Oh, again, big lockup. That time it's Ribeiro. He's going to have to give the spot back, and does, but he might lose one in the process. Looks like he will. So that'll be Stati moving up in front. Big shake-up in the top 5 again.
He might be going yellow here if Sherlock can't get that car going again.
Sherlock still coasting.
He's trying his best to get it going. The lead Bowling has now is insane. Let's see when he comes across the stripe. Almost over 2 seconds now. That's way out of the draft window. Now, if there's a yellow, the cars will all be static, and so the cars will come back into that draft window. But we'll see what happens here in this next half lap.
Right now, that is all up to Sherlock, is whether or not he can coast that thing all the way around.
Brady's back on track in 10th now with his quick car in qualifying. We'll see if he can keep going through the field now, as if you have a local yellow in turn 4, it seems.
Here's Bowling, who has just been putting together a great run in his attire back number 22, number 80, 22. The Bullhorn back car, driver out of Dallas, Texas. And there's Sherlock, who has gotten off course.
I'm trying to see where on the track that is. It seems to be around the turn 5-6 chicane right there. Now Bowling is completely controlling those races out front. If he keeps his nose clean and head down, it seems like it's a quick run to the finish for him. He's got to keep it out front. Look at that lead he has now. The cars in second and third are still in the draft window. That's the 55 of Ambiento and the 1 of Ribeiro. We'll see if those two can either work together to go catch a leader, or if they decide to fight for second and continue to let Bowling run away.
Benavitz under attack. It's the 46 of Roberts making a move. Connor Roberts out of LaGrange, Georgia, and that Atlantic Team Roberts ApexSpeed.com Entropy Sellers entry. Benavitz and the HendrickCars.com machine, the blue and white car, getting a little loose coming out of that last corner.
I know. That's a really sustained. Turn 4 right there is a really sustained right-hander. So keeping that under you to get a good run on the back stretch, the back home stretch, is huge. So we see he's still under pressure here going into turn 7.
Everybody running the hand-cooked tires here. Some able to start on stickers. That was Benavitz, for example. He did that today in the 5. Others having to use worn tires from earlier in the weekend. Everybody given just 2 sets for the weekend.
I keep an eye on Benavitz the rest of this race, especially him being on stickers. It's going to take a minute for those tires to fire up this morning.
Bit of a lockup there. Going back into the infield. Everybody running the Ligier JS F3 chassis, the Honda Type R 2.0 liter turbo engine, producing about 306 horsepower. The car without the driver weighs 1,485 pounds.
I want to point out the number 55 in Nicolas Ambiato just went purple by 3/10 over Bowling. So that's that last lap. He took the gap down to 1.5 seconds. So we'll see if he can continue to chip away at that lead throughout the rest of this race.
Benavitz doing a good job keeping Roberts behind him because he's been under serious attack throughout this one.
In the dirty air, especially through the SS section in the back, it's going to cause huge issues, as we have number 13 in the grass.
Yeah, the 13 off here. That's Barrett Wolfe out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the Make-A-Wish Axiom CyberCool.Inc. car.
I think he beached it in the grass, too. I mean, the grass is going to be all dewy this morning, especially, so getting that car going on the grass is going to be nearly impossible. I do a full course yellow.
Now that is the one thing Bowling did not want to see, but somebody like Brady Golan absolutely going to love this right now because it's going to give him another shot at this.
Exactly. It's not quite a mulligan, but again, it gets him back with the main pack. So then he's able to work from there and utilize that draft to continue chipping forward. So Ambiato was just outside the draft window that previous lap when he went purple. So the fact that he was still able to find 3/10 of Bowling, especially in that lap, shows how good of a car he has this morning. So it'll be really interesting to see once we go green again, whenever this caution goes away, how quickly he'll be able to stay with Bowling, or how much Bowling was even saving his car there, saving his tires for the later half of this race.
Roberts is going to have a good shot at Benavitz here too, because he's been able to close right back up on the tail section of his car.
Yep, exactly. When you're in the dirty area, though, you start working the front tires a bit more, so kind of let him get a second to cool those things off and get it back into the operating window. I believe the car's still stuck in turn 1 as I see the safety trucks down there. So we'll see. It shouldn't take too long to get the car moved. It might be able to get him going again.
And there's the 13, Ribeiro. Oh, that's Barrett Wolfe. Barrow's running in 3rd. Right there.
So the safety car also gives the drivers an opportunity to kind of just relax for a second and understand what they're doing right now. Again, the track conditions they had were much different than they were on the qualifying on Friday. And the car is going to be a lot different too now. So kind of understanding and taking a step back to understand the package that they have and then think through better the strategy they want to take for the rest of this 21 minutes of this race.
Another safety car out front. Cooling those hand-cooked tires down a little bit too. How do they perform differently once you've had a sustained yellow like this?
Well, it kind of depends on what your car was feeling right before the yellow. You know, if your tires were overheated a little bit, you can kind of take a second to cool them down. However, for example, Benavitz, with the sticker tires, you're going to want to keep those things hot. So it kind of, I assume it took him a while this morning to get those things fired, especially in a kind of colder condition that we had most of this weekend. So he's going to want to keep those tires much warmer than maybe the other guys to continue to get that fresh rubber up top to go away. So it kind of just depends completely on what your car is feeling and what you were feeling inside your car.
Well, while we're still under yellow, we'll take care of a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back live here on SpeedTour 1 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Back here at Indianapolis, getting closer to going green, our race leader, Jett Bowling, is driving one of the Kiwi Motorsports entries, and Ben Sissel joining us. Ben?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ralph. I'm down here with Gary, the owner of Kiwi Motorsport. This is working out perfectly for Jett Bowling in the points. What's he saying on the radio?
He's not really saying too much. He's just got his head down and trying to do the best job he can and not make any mistakes. He had a really good start, which he deserves, so it's good.
And he was really good here last year, so I think we're coming back to restart, so I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
The Kiwi Motorsports organization, one of the top teams in Formula Regional Americas competition. They come loaded every week.
Oh yeah, the amount of cars and the programs that run down there in the paddock is amazing. I was getting ready to go green here. The driver's going to be going out of turn 14 to turn 14 with the first rolling start of the weekend.
Another one of the Kiwi Motorsports entries is Bruno Ribeiro running there in third. Green flag waves are back at speed across the yard of bricks. Everybody trying to follow or break the draft as we thunder down the long front straightaway here. Here comes the 55, Ambiato filling up the mirrors of Bowling. Bowling gets up on the curbing, sent him a little wide there, Vaughn, and he's going to have to fight hard to keep Ambiato behind him.
Oh, this is a great battle up front. Let's see if Bowling can keep it up front. Big draft window into turn 7 here, so there's a long back stretch, so we'll see what happens here.
That's where they're headed, over to the Holman straightaway, named after the famed Tony Holman, former owner of this great facility. And there they go, down the Holman straight. Ambiato attacking on the brakes hard, smokes up the left front a little bit. Bowling able to keep him behind for now, but watch Ribeiro as well, and that other Kiwi Motorsports entry, the 01, the blue with the green, sitting there in third. Ambiato locks it up again. Ribeiro's ready to pounce.
Yeah, but especially watch him going onto this front straight here. He's going to have the draft for both cars up front as you had the number 14, I believe, going slowly.
Headed back towards the front straightaway. Here comes Bowling at a 0.2 of a second lead. See where they're at now when they cross the bricks. Ambiato hanging right there with him. Bowling doing everything he can to break the draft on Ambiato. He gained a 10th on him. Ambiato's going to have to block as Ribeiro dives inside. Oh, problems here for Audiello. The 07 knocking that front wing off.
See the run, he gets through turn 4 here and through the 4-5 chicane here. He looks pretty close to the back of Bowling, so we'll see if he can make a move down to turn 7.
Add on to the Holman straight.
I don't think it'll be close enough this time, but we'll tuck a line through the back section there and see where we can end up. As a car going slowly into turn 8, so we'll see if this causes an issue for the leaders.
Ambiato again locking things up a little bit going into that first left-hander after the straight. At 8.
The fact that Ambiato can still run close to Bowling, especially in this dirty air, talks kudos about his car. So we'll see if he can make that thing last the next 14 minutes. I'm not sure if it will hang on or not.
Well, he had lost a 10th on the previous lap. Let's see what he does here. They head back towards that front straightaway. With Audiello on pit lane. To the bricks. And let's see what Ambiato, yeah, he lost 2 more tenths. It's a half a second now between first and second place. But Ribeiro and Stati were right there, top 4 all glued together.
This is the hardest part for Ambiato here, just to get a little bit closer on the exit of one of these corners going onto the long stretches here at IMS.
So the top 4 cars, all Kiwi Motorsports entries, again showing their strength in Formula Regional Americas.
Yeah, that team has it down to a dime. It's just the art with those guys. The amount of data they have for all their drivers really pays dividends, and we're seeing it here right now this Sunday morning.
24 making its way to pit lane. Janzen.
Looks like some rear suspension issue almost with the crowd walking down the pit lane.
These teams and competitors do have another race coming up later this afternoon here.
Man, these front 4 cars are just completely walking away from the rest of the field right now.
Bowling again looking like he's stretching the lead a little bit. Ribeiro is really putting the pressure on Ambiato right now. That's the fight for second. Here comes Ribeiro looking inside, going to 1. Not close enough to make it happen.
And breaking off line, especially in Toulon with all the rain yesterday, is going to be especially dusty and not clean. So, I mean, the braking line on turn 1, you're going to break a lot deeper. So, especially making a pass and making it committed is going to be really tricky this morning.
He is definitely in the head of Ambiato, though, because Ambiato has lost another 2 tenths on that lap. And you have to assume, yes, Bowling is quick, some of that has to also be Ambiato looking in the mirror.
Oh, no, 100%. Seeing a driver in your mirror completely changes the way you approach the race. If he's not feeling confident in his car to go catch Bolin, then he kind of has to go into a more of reserve mode to stay where he is at.
12 minutes left here in round 7, the Formula Regional Americas. This is the 3rd racing weekend of the year for the series, but they do run multiple events each and every weekend, so this becomes round number 7.
Ambiato's so strong to the exit of turn 10, and that carries all the way to turn 12 and 13. As you see here, he kind of pulls that gap back on Bolin.
That's the first lap Ambiato hasn't lost a tenth or two to Bowling since we went back to green.
Yep, when you're that close to the car in front, it's super hard to get that little bit extra because you just get that air wash from the car in front. The fact he's even still doing the exact same time as the leader kind of shows how big that air wash is, especially for that back section of this track.
Now we're coming into a spot where Ambiato has had his issues, and that's the hard brake going into the left-hander at the end of the Holman straight. Right here. Seemed to be okay.
Yep, that round he was fine through. Hopping the curves through 7, 8, 9, and also the big curve in 10 right there. Look at the run he gets out of 10, and that carries all the way down through the long right-hander of 11, and then into the hard braking, going onto the banking of the track now into the right-hander of turn 12.
The curbing through that last infield section there, it's wide, but it's not very tall.
It's not, yeah, but it's kind of unique with IMS here. You're able to run the car over completely over those curves. Unlike turn 1, where turn 1 is a huge curve out there.
Turn 1 is a big one, yeah. You don't want to get up on that.
Let's see what the lap time he does this time around. So he's still pretty even with bowling. He was just 100th quicker as he goes really deep on the brakes here, trying to get as much time as he can in bowling.
Yeah, he picked up 100th or 2 on that last lap, did Ambiato, but he's going to have to get more than that with about 9.5 minutes left to go here.
Still a lot of racing left, though. A lot can change quick.
Well, and as we saw in the opening couple of laps, we shifted the top 5 around quite a bit each and every lap.
Look at Brady going now in the 7th spot, too. So he's continuing to chip way forward, but then again, that front 4 is just so far up front. Not having that draft is going to be huge around IMS.
Yeah, Roberts has lost touch with that group in the front. He's holding down 5th just in front of Benavitz, HendrickCars.com entry. Brady Golan, who got his first career pole here at Indianapolis this weekend, finds himself in 7th after spinning out into the grass on that opening lap. He's worked his way back up from the tail end of the field into a top 7. And Garg, in his first appearance with the series this year, is running in 8th. Bowlesby in 9th and Lawley in 10th.
Ambiato's still pretty close to bowling. He's just inside that draft window. So the end of this front straight, he'll be getting a little bit of draft, but then again, that also will affect him with that dirty air.
The big news here is Sherlock getting knocked out of this one after sweeping the weekend at Road America the last round. Now he finds himself out of it, and that is going to dramatically shake up the points going into the final race here coming up later this afternoon.
Exactly. While he was leading the championship, it wasn't it wasn't a crazy strong lead. Granted, he was still leading it, but then again, he was P2 right when he went out. So if he would have stayed in that race, for whatever issue he had, that would have been a huge championship haul for him. As they climb over the curve is in the 8, 9, 10 section here. To see the run they get out of this corner here. All the Kiwi drivers look super, super calm on the car, super comfortable, and that's what you want around this track.
$100,000 on the line if you win the championship here. Boy, that'll help a lot moving up the ladder if you're looking to do so.
Oh yeah, the 100 grand goes a long way. So especially not even the 100 grand too, but also just the amount of this nose you get for winning the championship. I mean, winning at the FR Americas Championship is not an easy task by any means, and that really reflects in the character of these drivers.
And Bowling's a great story because he had a very, very nasty crash in karting that almost convinced him to quit racing, and here he is leading at Indianapolis.
Yep, well, it's kind of been almost an elusive win for Jett out of IMS. So he almost kind of feels like, I would say, IMS almost owes him a win. He had 2 podiums here last year, I believe.
Yeah, first career podium.
Yep, so he's really, really strong at this track. So let's see if he can hang on for the next 6 minutes or so. So it's really interesting because I hope he can really replicate last year's magic with his podium and just get that one step further on the box.
Well, he's checked almost every box on the podium here, a second and a third last year, looking for his first win here at Indy today. Get that final spot on the podium handled. That's Roberts running back in 5th, just about 6 seconds behind the 4th place car.
Looks like he's kind of on an island right now. No one in front of him really, no one really behind him. So look at him, yeah, he's kind of got a gap from both in front and behind. So he's kind of just running his own race now, saving his tires for the next race as well.
Yeah, he's moved away from Benavitz. Bowling getting a little wide. Everybody a little wide coming up onto the front there.
Yeah, I just want to carry as much speed as you can through turn 14 because they carry us through the whole front stretch here. So carrying that little bit extra speed will pay dividends going to turn 1.
And it is a long way down to turn 1.
Yep.
You are deep in the throttle for a long time.
So while they're still doing similar lap times, Ambiato's fallen off a little bit with Ribeiro catching Ambiato now for second. So we'll see if this race for second can speed up in these last 5 minutes.
What do you like about how Jett Bowling races these days? What's he doing really well?
Well, there's a lot of pressure out front, especially when he's under pressure earlier for Ambiato, just staying as cool and collected as he was, especially in a track as big as this, right? The draft here is huge, and there's only so much you can really do to avoid that draft. One of the main things you can do is technically leaving on a straightaway, but then again, that's the outlawed here in the FR Americas, as it should be. So just staying cool, calm, and collected, and continue hitting his marks off front. I mean, he's literally not put a wheel wrong on this whole race. And that's kind of showing through his experience also from last year at IMS. Ambiato doing everything he can to get a good exit out of 13. But Ribeiro is still pretty close to him going into this front straight here.
Well, these are not the first Formula Regional Americas Championship competitors to race here at Indianapolis this season. David Malukas, Kiffin Simpson, and Kyle Kirkwood, all graduates of the series, all raced here in this year's Indianapolis 500.
Look at Ribeiro here. He might get a good run going out of this chicane here, but I don't think it'll be enough to make a move in turn 7. So if he's smart here, he would continue to kind of stay where he is now, knowing that he's quicker than Ambiato, looking for a move, then next lap into turn 1.
Inside of 4 minutes left to go here, and talking about those names.
Oh, big lockup.
Oh, yeah. Ambiato deep into the corner on the brakes, gathers it back up, trying to fight to hang on in front of Ribeiro. Ribeiro smelling a little blood in the water right now. He can sense he has an opportunity. That's also going to hinder Ambiato in the next race.
It might, yeah. Flat spotting his tire doesn't go away by any means. And the second you flat spot it, it's going to want to continue to find that flat spot next time you're on the brakes hard. So we'll see the run he gets out of turn 13 here, going into turn 14. He's tucked up right under Ambiato's wing here. Then again, passing off line, going to turn 1 as they go shallow, actually.
Here comes Ribeiro looking for that draft move. Right alongside Ambiato. And he's going to take second place away. And it looks like Stati's going to make a move as well. Ambiato has to have cooked those tires.
Yep. Yeah, just following that close to Bowling in the race probably just killed his tire. He killed his package. Well, he's still pretty close right now to the car number 3rd now. So we'll see if he can make a move down into turn 7.
Bruno Ribeiro out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And then we have Stati. Nicolas Stati from Perth, Australia. And Nicolas Ambiato from Santiago, Chile. all chasing Dallas, Texas's Jett Bowling.
Also shows for going into race 2 later today how much that fighting, kind of technically that little bit, let Bowling jump away. Right now his gap's back to 2.5 seconds over this next 2 drivers. So that's some good information for these drivers going to the next race, knowing that if you fight a little bit around this track, that the leader up front with the clean airs continue to chip away at that lead.
The discussion yesterday after the washout of race number 1 was they would potentially try to make that race up next week at Mid-Ohio. So that event, that round, will not be lost as far as the championship is concerned. Ribeiro working hard to see if he can make something happen with Bowling here with 1:15 remaining.
You look at the lap times from last lap too. I mean, Bowling's been staying in that 1:23.4 range pretty much for the last 5, 6, 7 laps. So the consistency he's having out of that 22 car was very, very impressive.
Look how much Ambiato has dropped off the pace now. He's basically out of the shot with the top 3 now, separating themselves from him.
Yep, having those big lockups he's been having all day into turn 7 has just been killing those tires. I mean, you're going to have vibrations in the cars. It's not going to handle the way it had as it would lap 1, 2, 3 without those lockups.
You see the gap from first to second. There's Ambiato. Benavitz sits back in 5th. White flag is out, final lap. I'm not sure Benavitz has a chance of catching Ambiato at this point. Oh, and problems for Roberts as the 46 is on pit lane. Jett Bowling, a 2nd and a 3rd here last year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Looking to get that final step on the podium here today. Put the Kiwi Motorsports entry in the 1st position. Kiwi having a great day here today, sweeping the top 4 spots.
I'm happy for Jett, the 19-year-old based out of Dallas, Texas, getting his first elusive win from IMS to finish off the rest of this lap. He's been working really hard this past season, continuing to train with FR alum, I believe, Brian Yardley, continuing to work on his racecraft, and that's really showing today.
He has done a great job here today. Jett Bowling through the final couple of corners. And that bullhorn backed number 22, the driver out of Dallas, Texas. Here he comes to the checkered flag. There it is, and a big celebratory win for Jett Bowling. Ribeiro will take 2nd. Stati will hang on for 3rd. And Ambiato will take 4th. Benavitz, the first non-Kiwi Motorsports entry, across the line for Crosslink, will take 5th. Bowlesby, Lawley, and Bijoy Garg drop down to 8th here right on the last lap.
Yeah, he's still learning a ton. I mean, this is his first time, I believe, in the FR cars. So having this first race, kind of ironing out some of the little mistakes, and has learned so much in this first race, will for sure help him go into the 2nd race later today.
Yeah, last year on this weekend, he was at the 24 Hours of Le Mans competing, and here this year, he's racing in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And that just
pretty good schedule for a lucky kid.
Oh, 100%, but it also shows the talent of the rest of the field as well. I mean, from winning your class in Le Mans to finishing technically 9th, I mean, that shows the amount of talent we have through the whole field.
Yep. And Brady Golan, who started on the pole, finishes in 9th. There's a look at the results. 3 seconds to gap between Bowling and Ribeiro as they cross the line. And once again, Kiwi Motorsports sweeping the top 4. Alex Benavitz for Crosslink in 5th. And the big story early on, Titus Sherlock, who had such a great weekend at the last round of Road America, finds himself off in the grass here at the early laps at Indianapolis. That'll shake up the points a little bit as they get ready for race number 2 coming up later this afternoon here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That has to change the mental approach for Jett Bowling tremendously as he gets ready for later today.
Oh, 100%. Having a dominant win like that, keeping it up front. I mean, he's been hunting for this for so long now. In the interview before this race and yesterday, he was talking about how confident he felt in his package, and that really showed today. Parks it in P1.
Talked about how much he really liked this circuit, how much he felt like it was his track, if you will. And that is such a big thing for a driver. If you really feel confident rolling into a facility before you even get behind the wheel of the race car, your chances of winning have just tremendously elevated.
100%. Having confidence in your package does everything.
He's been waiting to do that, hasn't he? Standing up on the nose of the car. As he pulls into the Parc Fermé, and the next up will be an interview with Ben Sissel. All right, Ben, I know you're going to have a very happy winter this time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ralph. I'm down here with Jett Bowling, and he's just giving everybody hugs. We got to get him to take his helmet and Hans device off, but we were talking about this so early on this week that he had to have a very good finish and everything needed to go his way. Well, so far, everything has gone his way. Jett, come over here by your car, this beautiful bullhorn car. You're here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I know you had a great season last season here at Indy, but you're now at the top step and everything is kind of going your way today. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I just want to say happy birthday to my mom. It was my dad's birthday yesterday, and happy Father's Day. So this one's for y'all, obviously.
Nice. Anybody else you want to thank? I know Kiwi's been working their butts off.
Yeah, I could talk for an hour. Thank you to Steven, to Gary, Alex. It's been a long time coming. Thank you to Chris, the tire guy. He owes me 10 miles on the treadmill. Thank you to so many people. I can't say enough.
Nice. Well, how about that? Jett Bowling here, top step at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But what a great race. I'm going to hand it over back to you guys so we can get John Phippen on the podium. Thanks, guys.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. Jett's going to continue the celebration. Then hey, got to turn the GoPro off.
Yeah, he's going to want to save that video to watch it back. That's going to be a cool memory for Jett.
Good look down on the pagoda. You see the cars all parked there in Parc Fermé below the traditional victory circle here that is used for the Indianapolis 500 and, of course, the Brickyard 400 coming up later this summer. We're going to take a quick break, and then John Phippen is going to have the victory podium celebration for you when we come back right here on Speed Sport 1.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom, and I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and is getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, activity's getting ready to go right away out on the racetrack. We got to hustle stuff along here, Vaughn, because we had all that rain yesterday. We got to slide groups 6, 8, and 12 from SVRA out onto the racetrack. That's up next. Thanks so much for coming by, Vaughn. We're going to see you again a little later on this afternoon.
Yep, of course. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to later today.
All right, Vaughn Beasley. And here we go. As I said, this will be group 6, 8, and 12. Car to keep your eyes on is that bright yellow Camaro, number 19. Paul Stubber won this one going away yesterday, as he has every time he's raced this year. Got those Dodge Neon ACRs, 2 of them in the field here today. Here's a look at the starting lineup. Jack Schweitzer, Alex McAllister, Paul Stubber in that Camaro, Jeff Lyman, Scott Shadle in another Camaro. Douglas Schweitzer's got the Porsche. Steve Liadis, Ron Pauly, David Roberts, and John Putnam II. That's the Mazda RX-7. Mark Hannafin, Tyler Brooks, Clay Hargett, Rick Ortman in his Corvette, Robert Daimler, Robert Brooks, Stephen Hyatt, Christopher Shoemaker, Tracy Shepard, and Rob Bellevue. Ready to have some fun here on this Father's Day at Indy. Ben Sissel will be joining us up here in the booth in a little bit, once they wrap up all of the podium stuff for Formula Regional Americas. Well, if you're not a huge fan of racing, but you love golf, you can still come on out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Some of the guys over at the Brickyard Crossing today may be enjoying a little bit of both, playing some golf and keeping an eye on the racetrack. Jeanette's safety car will be pulling off, and we'll be headed to the green here. You see the pace picking up as they make their way onto the front straightaway. Here we go. And we're green. Stubber quickly into the gas, and that big Camaro powers its way right into the lead and already pulling away. Here comes Shadle in his Camaro as well, and one of the Corvettes up on the outside. So the Chevys all blow past the Porsches as this one goes green, and it's bow ties at the front of the field, Ben. Ben Sissel has made his way up to the booth now, and Stubber right where we last saw him, out front pulling away.
Yeah, but I could hear the excitement in your voice when you said that about the Chevrolets over the Porsches. But now they're getting to the twisty bits, which is the Porsches will have the advantages there. A lot of great cars in this field. This is our SVRA Group 6, 8, and 12.
Stubber doing what he always does, sliding that Camaro around. And the crazy thing is that's a rental ride.
Yep.
He comes all the way from Perth, Australia. Does a lot of business here in Indianapolis. So this one kind of worked out well for him. He can do a little business and a little racing. Problems for the Mustang.
Yeah, not sure what's happening there. Looks like he's trying to get back up to speed.
That's the 95.
Robert Damlin. That Mustang Coupe. But here we go. Here's the two Porsches up behind one of those bow tie cars. Scott Shadle's got a mirror full of Porsches.
Yeah, he does. And this is where he should be able to fight him off, right here. And he does. What can that Corvette do, the black and red machine? He's going to power past as well. That's the 77, Jeff Lyman. So Lyman's going to move into third. And then it's going to be the number 30 Porsche, Jack Schweitzer, who's going to be just in front of McAllister in the Porsche RSR IROC edition.
So Stubber, huge lead in that Camaro. But if they go four wheels over that white line, they get one warning. And then after that, like maybe that Porsche just did, after that it's going to be a drive-through penalty. So they have to be careful.
Yeah, Schweitzer was right on the edge of it, wasn't he? But Stubber, oh, and the Mustang's not going to make it all the way around. He's going to bring out a full course caution here.
I don't know. Hopefully he can get refired. But Shadle, now with that number 77 of Jeff Lyman right behind him in that modern Corvette.
That's a C6, and he's looking to the inside.
Shadle might be better to let the Corvette pass him because he's racing these Porsches. Look at those
Corvette's going to give up 2 spots to the Porsches, but watch him come blasting right past again on the front straightaway.
This is a pretty good equalizer of handling versus horsepower.
Yeah, and here comes the 914 as well. It's McAllister. No, that would be the Adams.
So now the Corvette's got some grunt. The Porsche sees it. 0-0 of Alex McAllister.
No, double check that. Douglas Switzer
was able to fire up.
Switzer's in the 914, the white car.
And that's like a Camel GT looking IROC 9146. So Jeff Lyman trying to do something with Shadle. Now watch these Porsches behind him because there's a long straightaway. They should lose the Corvette and Camaro, but then the Porsche should get right up behind them going into 12. So the horsepower wins this whole, the Ullman straight, long straightaway. But watch how they can just outbrake and get right up behind them. And now the Porsches have the advantage.
The IROC RSR. Ooh, up the
That's
inside.
risky. Coming up behind on Shadle. He's going to try to duck into the inside here.
He is. And he's going to be, oh boy. That's going to be tight. They gave each other enough room. Shadle's going to hang on to the spot.
Ooh, oh, but he did force McAllister, or not McAllister, but.
Oh man, look at how close those two are racing here. The Porsche's just not going to have the horsepower down the straightaway.
He forced Switzer into the grass with that one, though. I like how these two cars match the curbing here at Indy.
Yeah.
So this is just the epic battle here, the handling versus horsepower. The American muscle car guys just don't like these little nimble, quick and nimble Porsches. But now Shadle, if he can get on the gas, he might be able to out-drag the 0-0 of McAllister into 7th. I think he's thinking better of it.
The Corvette closing up. Down the Holman straight.
McAllister just bouncing off the curves. Shado doing really well to keep that big Group 12 C6 behind him. I wasn't expecting that. Uh-oh.
Oh, he cooked it. Oh, he lost all his momentum there. And the 914 getting inside the Corvette. It's the other Switzer entry.
It's Hannafin in the number 85.
And Ortman in the red Corvette in front of him.
Somebody's getting black flagged.
Ortman running in 13th. Leader's working through some traffic here. Third and fourth right there. Spitzer and Shadle.
I'm hearing from race control that the 8.5 is in pit lane for shortcutting one of the corners. That neon is sitting up very high. Not sure what kind of setup they have.
Cornering on three wheels. Did you see that?
For some reason, they gave him the off-road setting on that suspension.
Yeah.
This is probably the smoothest track we visit all year.
For sure.
There's that beautiful Datsun 510.
Mustang running good now, isn't it?
Yeah. The two BMWs are out there, but here comes Stubber up into lap traffic now. Stubber smooth into turn one. The thing about him is he can get on the power quicker than most in these vintage American muscle cars.
Well, he's not afraid to slide it.
I did ask him this morning. He is a dirt tracker, so that explains why he's so good in the rain, because I've been to Perth and it doesn't seem like it rains quite a bit there.
No. But there is a good dirt track there.
Stubber with Concierge Motorsports in the rental.
Speaking of dirt tracks,
yeah,
there's the home of the BC 39 coming up in July. Big midget race. They're going to run sprint cars on that track this year, too.
That's crazy. So these two went at it all day yesterday, and they're paddocked and pitted next to each other. Rick Ortman, Clay Hargett, good friends.
Dirt track is located over towards turn 3 of the big track here.
There's the other neon. 2 second-gen neons out there as Stubber comes around. And he's out in the marbles a little bit. See that?
Yep. That was Hyatt, correct, in the Dodge Neon that we just went past?
I believe so, yeah.
So Stubber is lapped up to 15th.
There should be David Roberts in that number 2.
One of the IROC Porsches. Of course, the first year of the International Race of Champions seasons was all Porsche 911s. Mark Donahue won that championship that year.
Look at that. Little Wankel engine rotary Mazda RX-7. David Roberts just trying to figure out a way around it. He should be able to outmotor him here. And Rob Bellevue in that Street Tires Janetta, who did very well yesterday in the rain.
Look at the RX-7 close up under braking.
What's the deal with the cars of the same color finding themselves on track today?
Been a lot of that, hasn't there?
So we have a rotary engine versus an air-cooled engine. Now here's these BMWs, Ron Pauly and Liadis out there just having a ton of fun in these M2s. Stubber looking pretty planted.
You know, he just doesn't put a wheel wrong, does he? He is just solid the entire time. This is by far the best battle on the racetrack. And this would be for 10th overall. Comes the RX-7 up the inside with a great drive off the final corner. Or not the final corner, but...
He did that last time, turn 12. So that's John Putnam the second. David Roberts is going to have to try to get him back after 14. He was patient last time. Here's a Group 8, Lotus 7. Tracy Shepard. I think I saw Stubber behind. So Roberts back around Putnam, but remember how Putnam was able to outbrake him and get right up behind him again.
.914 working its way around one of the slower neons.
Shadle behind the 9146. Surely that's not. Okay, there he is. There's Stubber. His door's open. Is that his door? Is that no? That's just his rear fender. Okay, it scared me. The 19A.
Stubber has an 8.5 second lead over Switzer in his Porsche right now. These two still fighting over 10th. Shadle holding on. 6th. He's at 5th now, just getting in front of Switzer.
And we're going to have white flag out on Stubber next time by. So Scott Shadle will be our first in Group 6. TAS. Paul Stubber will be first in Group 6 AP. And that battle's been going the whole time between the Corvette and the Porsche of McAllister and Lyman and Switzer. This is where that Porsche would like to get him coming into 12. If he can stay behind him, he can outbrake him. And I don't think he's behind him. He looks like he's slowing down.
White flag waving for Stubber. And more problems for the Mustang. Tomlin. I don't know what Stubber pays to rent that car each weekend, but he gets every nickel out of it.
Yeah, those tires are wearing away. But man, he hits his marks. That is a consistent race car driver. Here's the 2 BMWs.
That might be one of the winningest Camaros in the country, because if he shows up in it, he's usually claiming the checkered flag.
Yeah. Yeah, Concierge Motorsports out of Dallas, Texas. They do a really good job working this, and it looks like Paul Stubber is just having the time of his life out there. Well, I know you as a Chevrolet person are going to like this finish.
This will be a good one. A couple more corners to slide through. Grabbing gears now as he heads towards the Yard of Bricks. And a second win here this weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Paul Stubber. Driver out of Perth, Australia, taking the win in the Concierge Camaro.
But Jack Switzer did really well to stay with him in that Porsche. Finished second. That's our 12. First place is Jack Switzer. Then Jeff Lyman, Group 12, second place. McAllister was third in Group 12. Then Scott Shadle is second, Group 6.
Here comes the fight with Putnam. They still have to settle the battle for 10th.
This is
Roberts
where
and Putnam.
The RX-7 likes to get him here at 12, and it might be a race just to the Yard of Bricks here. If he can get him at 12, it'll be a drag race.
Here he comes, looking up the inside. Got him, and they got the Mustang just in front of them. Gonna have to play that card right.
Oh no, this might get too interesting.
Putnam and Roberts. Putnam in the Mazda RX-7, just in front of Roberts' Porsche. Onto the front straightaway. Putnam with the advantage by about a car length. Here comes Roberts. The drag race is on to the Yard of Bricks. The Porsche's just going to beat him to it.
Oh, that was crazy.
Putnam did everything right, but not bringing the right amount of horsepower to the event.
Yeah. But I bet you both of those gentlemen had a blast. They passed each other 2 times a lap.
Here's a look at the results. Stubber, Switzer, Lyman, McAllister, and Shadle, the top 5. Switzer, Pauly, Liadis, Bellevue, and Roberts in the Porsche taking the top 10. Well, that was an entertaining race, Ben, for groups 6, 8, and 12. Their second race of the weekend.
Yeah, it's neat to see those BMW M2s out there as well. Liadis and Ron Pauly. But we've got a lot of great races, and in fact, pretty soon we're going to be changing over to the oval for the Ragtime Racers. So stay tuned.
A lot more coming your way from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway after this.
Yes. Hon, the weather tech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Well, it's Father's Day weekend, and this is something we want to do for Father's Day. The Phillips family, they've spent a few Father's Day here with us at Indy. I'm going to start over here with Robert, the dad. So happy Father's Day weekend. And you're here at Indy. Could this be any better, racing with your two daughters?
No, you know, it was great when I used to come and they were at home and I missed them. Now they're with me and they're chasing me, so it's fun.
They're chasing you. Does that mean they're right up behind you? How are they doing with their driver skills?
I probably have another 2 or 3 races before I see them in my mirrors at every turn.
Nice. Now, Amelia, how are you feeling about that? I know you've been in the car a little bit longer than your sister. How long until you're going to be passing your father?
Well, I've already passed him maybe once or twice in a race. Not here, but I've passed him before. And that was an accomplishment for me. I used to have I guess it was a piece of tape on my steering wheel. It said "Pass Dad" that someone else had put on my car, and I had that on there for a long time. So, and then I finally got to take it off when I actually did. So, yeah, it's a good feeling to be able to pass him up, but yeah.
I love it. And then, Madeline, your first session on track was today. You're in the number 1-8. How was it for you out there?
It was good. It was a little scary. I spun out twice, but, you know, it was great. I saw my dad, and he did pass me once, but I think that in the next one, I think I can get him back on that. Yeah.
I love it. Now, Father's Day weekend here at Indy, you guys are the Formula V class. Not the fastest class, maybe the slowest class, but I would say the Formula Vs with this huge group of cars is by far the most fun class. Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree with that. Everybody's balanced. The cars are the same. It's all about the driver, and we actually race. We are nose to tail for most of the race, so it's awesome.
Yeah, in fact, in some of the rear of the cars, there's little cages over the transmissions because when they bump draft, you can actually knock them out of gear. But Amelia, so I know you guys were with us at NOLA. How do you describe to your friends, oh, I can't go do that this weekend, I'm spending Father's Day at Indy?
A lot of them don't really understand that. I've had like 2 or 3 friends come out to a race and they were like, okay, this is cool, I get it. And I had them kind of help work on the cars. I taught them how to do a few things, but they don't really understand the world of racing. But they think it's cool and they like, you know, they've seen videos. I have videos on YouTube that they've watched, so they support, but yeah.
So I know you've been racing for a long time, but your daughter's just now getting into that. Does it make you more nervous when it's like 3 minutes on the grid over there at Gasoline Alley and it's not just you, now you've got your 2 daughters in the race with you?
It's always been a little nerve-wracking just waiting and not knowing, but this weekend's the first weekend we put radios in our cars. So now we get to talk and talk about what's going on, and when we got off the track, one of them said, we need to discuss when not to talk. so it's getting better. It's getting easier. It's just they are safer on the track than they are on the street. And you know, and the drivers here in the Formula V class, especially, we all respect each other. We race each other a lot, and so we know we're not going to do anything stupid to each other. So it's good. So it's really good.
All right, hey, I'm here Father's Day, and this is a very special Father's Day for Barron Racing and Elliott Barron with his 2 sons, Hunter and Eo, who are also here. But I met you here at Indy. I don't know if you remember this, probably 8-10 years ago. You were climbing the fence. Do you remember that? And I know that this place is so special for you. So to be here, I have footage of you winning here at Indy. This has got to be so special.
This is the most special track in the world, you know, and being here on Father's Day weekend, couldn't ask for more. And, you know, back in the day, it was my father and me and them here. So I got to share it with him. And now I get to share it with these boys. Of course, they're not as nice They beat me here now.
Look at how far away they're standing. Come on, guys, get a little closer.
I used to beat these boys, and now they're beating me. They don't respect me anymore.
And then just judging by his shirt, I can see that he's got probably many, many miles in the Mario Kart sim. And these Formula Vs, these aren't too far away from Mario Kart.
No, not really. They're really low to the ground. There's pretty much nothing around you. You have no grip. You slide around a bunch. And every now and then somebody throws something at you and makes you spin. So it's pretty much exactly like Mario Kart.
And then, Hunter, I know that you've been running here, and I've got you and your dad, like, flipping for the lead like 4 times a lap in years past. So what's it like to be running here with your dad on Father's Day?
Well, we've been doing it for, what, 8 years now? But yeah, that video of me and him going back and forth is still one of my favorite videos. It's just an honor. It's so much fun being here at Indy and doing that.
Now, we would be remiss, though, if we don't talk about Jim, because it's so cool to have, you know, his car was with us at NOLA. I forget who was driving it, but he kind of started it all. But then also Doug Bowles has been in here with you. I think his son was with you, so it goes a long way.
Carter has driven our car several times, and Doug was pitted in here with us a couple of years running a Formula Ford with Jay Creech. But that's really an honor that we've become friends through the years and keep up with each other and have been able to race with each other. And truly it's an honor, Ben. You know, getting to run here, people that don't get it just don't get it. There's no place more special to race a car than Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And you were talking about Dad's car. That's the last car my dad ever raced, and we keep running it in his honor.
Because that's the way he would want it.
Yeah, he's still here with us.
I love it. Now, we talk about these Formula Vs, and I hope you don't take offense, because this is probably the slowest class we're going to see here all weekend, but I promise you they're having more fun than anybody else out there. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. We may be the slowest open-wheel class, but we put on a better race. We put on a show. We have more passing, more lead changes, and we've run with each other enough that we'll run inches apart sideways in the corners.
Yeah, I love it. I will say that watching these races, usually the Formula V races here on this weekend are even more fun to watch than the Indy 500. What would you say to that, EO?
Well, considering the fact that every race ends with a winning difference of less than 10 hundredths of a second half the time, it's pretty exciting every time. So.
Now, Hunter, last thing, how would you describe, because I know that we're running in 3 different Formula V classes, but how would you describe this Formula V to people that aren't quite familiar with it?
How would I describe Formula V to people? We're a different breed. I think it's all about the community here. I mean, everybody just wants each other to get out there and have fun, and I think that's what we're all about.
And they will work. I've seen this. They will work through the night to help put a new engine in a competitor just to have that person out on the grid, and they want to beat everybody out there on the track under the same equipment. So they'll work through the night and not sleep putting engines or driver parts in these cars, but that's what this community is all about, isn't it?
Or rebuilding wrecked cars. We've done that here a few times, and yeah, we want to beat them on the track, not in the pits. And the community is the biggest thing with Formula V. We've all become such close friends, and we try to get together to go to certain events, and it just makes it a lot more fun.
Well, you've brought a full field here. Father's Day weekend. Are you guys going to give Father anything this weekend, or is it once the green flag drops?
No, Ben, and he'll be in an FV1, which is the true vintage. I'll be in an FV2, which is a true vintage. It breaks the rules a little bit. And he'll be in an FV3, which is one of the more modern, but it's still a vintage car. Legally in the years, it's still a vintage car. So we'll all be out there racing together, but we all 3 this time will be in different classes.
Nice. I love it. Well, that Father's Day weekend here at Indy, the Brickyard Vintage Racing Invitational. This is going to be a really fun weekend, so stay tuned. So Madeline was saying right when she got out of the car that it's totally different than the sim. It was her first time out there. But Madeline, what is it like to be here at basically the world cathedral of racing, Indianapolis Motor Speedway? You can cross the bricks. You're feeling it every time. How is that?
Oh, it's a surreal feeling. I went, well, my family and I attended the Indy 500 last year, and being able to experience that from afar and then getting to be on the track, like right where they were, it's pretty crazy. It's amazing.
Amelia, how about you?
I mean, it's a great feeling. I did an internship with AJ Foyt in 2024 for the 500, and so I got to be on pit, and it was a great experience. But I mean, being able to drive the track too, especially after experiencing my internship, it's just like a whole different ball game.
Robert, how about you out there?
Childhood dream. I have all the AJ Foyt Matchbox cars, and so when we started racing here, I remember the first time I came around the track, and I looked up, and I'm like, holy, I'm here. And the fact that they're both under the age of 20 and doing it, I had to wait till I was mid-40s. I'm a little jealous, but we're here. We're doing it. We love it.
It is such a dream, and the first year we were here, I remember drivers getting out of their cars and just weeping, bawling, just because they got to race at Indy. It is such a special place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's surreal. It's, as my daughter said, it's just amazing. It is the pinnacle of motorsports, especially in this country, and you talk to people afar, and this is where they want to come. And so it's awesome. I'm so glad that SPRA hosts this event and that they'll allow our slow cars to join you. So it's good. It's really, really good.
All right, I'm down here with Kiwi Motorsport, and Jett Bowling has joined us here. And I'm talking to Jett because we're here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That is just like so cool in itself, but you had a great weekend here last year. What are your expectations here when the lights go out?
Yeah, huge expectations. Yeah, it's my best weekend. It was my first podium in FIA series, so high expectations. We're looking for a win.
Looking for a win. Now, we've got 3 races here this weekend with the Formula Regional America's U.S. Championship here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But with the points as they are, about a quarter to 30% through the season, to be honest, you're a little bit lower than I was expecting. So you've basically got to be on the podium every race here.
Yeah, we've had some pretty bad luck with mechanical stuff. You know, I was on pole in Road America, and then the car failed, so I had a red flag, so I moved to second. We got the pre-grid and the fuel dumps on me, so started from pit lane. So that was a big points loss, but yeah, we pretty much need perfection here on out.
Nice. Now, Helmick Farms, Bullhorn, they're on the side of your car. Tell us what these sponsors mean to you here.
Yes, you know, some of them are family friends. Most of them are actually, and so I think that's a great, representation of the team and, what I'm behind. I love having family friends on the car. It shows all these people that are watching races. They're texting me before and after races. It's really nice to see that.
Now, you've got 48 points right now. Your old teammate and friend Titus Sherlock is at the sharp end of the points. You've got to get there. I know that you guys have a long history together and a good friendship. But, this is racing. You're competitive, so you're friends off of the track. But that's a lot of pressure on you. Do you feel the weight on your shoulders right now?
Yeah, there's definitely some added pressure, with how the season's gone. But there's not a doubt in my mind I'm the fastest guy. We have the fastest car, so there's not a doubt we can't do it. We just need a bit of lady luck to be with us.
Nice. Well, let's look for Jett Bowling in the number 22 with Formula Regional Americas hopefully on the top step or one of the steps of the podium this weekend here at IMS. I'm here at Kiwi Motorsport, starting the 2025 season. A lot has happened. Last year, it was Crosslink Kiwi. They had a ton of cars, always finishing on the podium, and honestly, it became a little bit too big to manage for both of the teams. Also for the series, it was hard to encourage other new teams to come into the series with such a huge behemoth of Crosslink Kiwi absolutely dominating some of the classes last year in FR and F4. So what has happened in the offseason, both teams agreed to split up, and it was an amicable split. I totally love it as a series because it gives a better opportunity for new teams to come in, for new drivers to feel more comfortable to come in, that there isn't just this huge team and then a couple of other little teams. So we've got now, there's a Crosslink team and a Kiwi Motorsport team.
It's honestly, I like it a bit more. Crosslink Kiwi had such a domination over the last years. It was kind of the team
championship was just kind of in the up for grabs, but now it's it's there and it's hard, and it just adds a bit more competition between me and my friends.
Yeah, so the split with Crosslink and Kiwi Motorsports, I think it's good because then it puts more teams on the map, not just like Crosslink, Kiwi Motorsports like last year. So it's kind of nice that we split, more competition in a way.
But something else that has happened with Kiwi Motorsports specifically, they've had a long relationship with Chip Ganassi Racing. Chip Ganassi Racing, along with Alex Palou's dad in Spain, they wanted to start a driver development program for Chip Ganassi's teams in IndyCar and his other series. So now you're going to see Chip Ganassi on the Kiwi Motorsport cars on their uniforms to work with this team, to work with the drivers, to develop the drivers, to move up into IndyCar and anywhere Chip Ganassi Racing feels comfortable. But now, as you can see, Crosslink Motorsports, also a very strong team this year. But one of the things that I'm going to find very interesting to watch, so last year Jett Bowling and Titus Sherlock, when it was Crosslink Kiwi together, they finished 3rd and 4th in the championships. Titus is over here looking very strong. Jett Bowling is over there with Kiwi Motorsports. So we're going to see what happens and follow along. Just like in any motorsports, there's a ton of camaraderie in the paddock. The two teams are still going to help each other out. If anything happens, they're going to work together to work out any of the gremlins, because all anybody wants in this paddock is for everybody to do well, to bring in more drivers, to bring in more teams and make this thing really grow.
Hi, my name is Mo Murray with Ligier Automotive North America, and we build race cars. I'm going to tell you about 3 types of race cars that race as the open wheel series at Perella Motorsports. We have the newly renamed Ligier JFC Junior Formula Championship. We have F4 US, the FIA F4 Championship for the US, and we have Formula Regional Americas, the next level up from F4, covering all of the Americas. Let's go have a look at the cars. This car we're looking at here is the Ligier JFC car, newly renamed series, the Junior Formula Challenge. It's originally the Gen 1 F4 car, Ligier JSF 416, raced in the US in F4 from 2016 all the way through 2023. This car is similar to the others in that it has a full carbon tub, aluminum wing on this one, steel wishbones and suspension components, carbon crash structures front and back. Drivers in this series can race from the age of 14 years of age, which is great for drivers coming out of karting. It's a great opportunity for drivers to step into the world of car racing initially. This one has the same Honda engine as the Formula Regional car, except the regional car, of course, has a turbocharger. This makes about 180 horsepower. Very mild aero in this car, not a lot of aero help for the drivers. But the big difference with this car visually, to look at this car, is of course there's no halo. Now the halo was developed and conceived long after this car was invented, and so you cannot retrofit a halo onto these because of the structure of the tub. So that's how you can tell this car on track. It's older. It fully meets FIA safety standards from 2016 when it was born, but that did not include a halo. The new F4 and the Formula Regional car, of course, are halo cars, or as we call halo cars. Still a great platform for young drivers to step away from karting and into car racing as their first step. So F4 US, a very important championship in driver development, all around the world actually F4, but in the US a very important series for drivers looking to advance their way up the motorsports ladder. This is the latest F4 US car. It's called a Ligier JSF 422. Like the other cars, has a carbon fiber tub, comes from Ligier's sister company HP Composites. Carbon fiber nose box and rear crash structure. This one has the halo we talked about, so the halo's a FIA mandated safety device that stops intrusion into the helmet area, keeping drivers safe. V4 pushrod engine in the back of it, 1.6 litre, about 180 horsepower. Drivers in this car can race at 15 years of age, which is great for young drivers, again, climbing the ladder, karting, Ligier JFC, F4, and then all the way up to Formula Regional. Like I mentioned, V4 pushrod engine making about 180 horsepower. SEDEV gearbox, again 6-speed sequential gearbox, operated of course with paddles on the steering wheel. Again, mild aero on this, a little more than the JFC car, but not as much as a Formula Regional car. This car will do, and it's geared at a big racetrack like Road America or someplace like that, about 152 miles an hour, which when there's a 15-year-old behind the wheel is That's a big boy car. And these cars are very competitive. There's, all around the world, drivers look to F4 in order to begin their journey up the motorsports ladder, and this is the US version of it, the Ligier JSF 422. So let's meet the Ligier JSF 318, Ligier's Formula Regional Americas car. This car is powered by a Honda turbocharged engine. It's essentially the same engine as the JFC car, but this one has a turbocharger, makes about 303 horsepower. It's prepared by Mountoon, great partners in the series, but originally was a Honda engine. SIDEV gearbox, 6-speed sequential gearbox, paddle shifters, of course, for all of these. Plenty of aero help on this. Great view of the top side of the diffuser on the back of this. Carbon wings front and rear on this car. This car has a full carbon tub, which most race cars have these days. This carbon tub is made at HP Composites in Italy, a Ligier company. And of course, this car includes a halo, FIA safety device mandated for all cars built from 2018 and forward. This is a 318, and this is the top level of the open wheel series at Pirelli Motorsports. It's known as Formula Regional Americas, and these cars are compatible with and competitive with other Formula Regional series around the world, where lots of young drivers are going to earn their way up to F3, F2, and ultimately Formula One.
When I was 5, I started go-karts. I don't know, raced that, most of my racing career. Last year, I went to Lucas Oil Racing School in March, and that really just, started my path to getting into actual cars. And then in December, I got, the scholarship to Radford Racing School, so I did that. And this is my first year in cars, so, just raced NOLA, had a good time. That was my first time in a winged car. It was a shorter, more technical track, so I got a lot out of it. The coaching there was great. Learned a lot about, just how cars with downforce handle differently than go-karts. A lot of braking, and we did some skid pad training, which is a lot of fun. Definitely a lot more comfortable in Formula cars after going to Radford. Really big turning point in, my skill as a driver. Spring of 2021, I started getting really sick. I would be at the go-kart track, and, it would just flare pretty bad. Then I would qualify, then, not feeling good enough to race. So that's when we really realized that something was wrong. And we decided to go to the doctor, try to figure out what was up. It took a few months. Went to Riley Children's Hospital. They did a really good job figuring that out after a lot of testing, a lot of blood work. Got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I founded Racing with Crohn's shortly after to let everyone know what it is, because, I'd really never heard of it before I got diagnosed. And after I started speaking about it, people that, from the racetrack, just random people I knew, just came up to me and told me that they had it. So, there's more people than you think that has it, and they just don't really like to talk about it. So, I found Racing with Crohn's to really spread awareness. Every single weekend, we just try to make as much progress as possible. We're a fairly small team, a big military, former veteran presence. I think everyone on our team, except for me, of course, and one other person,